What's at stake in this election?
The biggest newsmakers.
You brought this up, so you get an answer.
The inside scoop on Washington.
Why didn't we finish the job in Afghanistan?
Nothing gets by Chris Wallace.
Join me on Fox News Sunday.
His film has Hollywood buzzing, critics raving, and even scored an Oscar nod. But beneath his crusade for a clean environment lies a dirty little secret. Now, Sean exposes the inconvenient truth about Al Gore. It's a special investigation on Hannity's America tonight.
Well, firefighters in northwest Texas had their hands full overnight battling a pipeline explosion in Harris County. Investigators say they still don't know what caused the explosion, but crews did double duty after the blast sparked a grass fire. There are no reports of injuries, and officials did not order any evacuation. Well, there's a growing storm of controversy surrounding the NFL's refusal to print a recruiting ad from the U.S. Border Patrol in the Super Bowl program. Detractors say the move was an offensive attempt at being PC. The NFL says they asked for some minor modifications to the language about terrorism in that ad and just never heard back from folks at the Homeland Security Department. So that's their stand. But for more on that, for an explanation, to talk with somebody who believes that explanation just doesn't cut it, I'm joined by Dave Bossie of the group Citizens United, and he joins us now. Dave, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So why don't you buy that explanation?
Well, the NFL is clearly looking to its international markets to grow its market share. And the NFL, allows the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines to recruit at every game. I've been a season ticket holder at NFL games for 12 years and have been to a couple of Super Bowls. So I know what they're doing, and they allow recruitment all the time.
That's right.
And
in fact, this very
say,
ad has been in some other magazines.
It's in tonight's NBA All-Star
right.
game. It's not a controversial ad. They say it's controversial. It's an excuse for their political correctness because they don't want to insult people in Mexico.
In the ad, and we can bring it up now. You can get a look at what it looks like in the program. Had it been in the Super Bowl program, it was not. But it lists the duties of a Border Patrol agent as preventing the entry of terrorists and their weapons, blocking entry of undocumented aliens, and stopping drug smugglers. So let me take the other side for a second. If you're going to a Super Bowl game to have a good afternoon and enjoy the game, do you want to be reminded about terrorism and drug smugglers?
Look, we're reminded of that every day. Yeah. If that's controversial, then why is the United States Marine Corps Recruitment Center manned by Army or Marines officers who are recruiting people at the game not controversial? The war is much more controversial than closing the borders or securing our borders. So I find the NFL's position on this to be really disingenuous.
In fact, they changed their position from that one statement that we got most recently. Let's look at the other graphic we have of the one. In an interview a few days before with the Washington Times, an NFL spokesman said the borders, the immigration debate is a very controversial issue, and we were sensitive to any perception we were injecting ourselves into that, so they didn't want to veer into controversial territory, probably because you say they have big connections in Latin America, especially
Absolutely.
Mexico.
Look, Major League Baseball and basketball have massive recruitment efforts to recruit players as well as fans.
They sell their stuff in Mexico as well, and there was even talk about having a team down there at some point.
The NFL owes the men and women of the Border Patrol an apology. They made a mistake. Make your apology and move on. Instead, the NFL continues to, and their spokesmen really have done themselves a disservice. So I think they owe an apology, and let's move past it.
Well, do you think they're actually going to back down and put it in their program next time? Or?
Well, they look, what they ought to do is make an apology. Clearly, the Super Bowl next year, there will be an ad for the Border Patrol.
And they do need to beef up their forces. They have 9,000 agents now. They want to have 18,000.
Yeah, they're up to 13,000 right now, which is fantastic. But President Bush had 9,000 when he took over in 2000, and now there needs to be 18,000 in order to secure our borders properly. So that's an important thing to do, and our Border Patrol serves an important purpose.
Okay. Dave Bossie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.